It's mailbag time here on Chicago Bears Now. You can follow me on Twitter. It's at HGramNFL. If we don't get to your questions now, you can tweet them at me, again, right there, at HGramNFL. Let's start with Mr. Nobody. You are always somebody here on Chicago Bears Now. Hey, it's me again. Cut Javon Wims and Anthony Miller. I'm down. And trade Cohen and a fifth-round pick for Jamison Crowder. And I hope we re-sign Cordell Patterson. He's one of my favorite players. I'm cool with cutting Wims and Miller. I think they'll keep at least one of those guys, though. I don't care about Jamison Crowder. I'd rather keep Cohen over Crowder. And I'm with you. Cordell Patterson, culture guy, plays GM on Twitter. Good guy to have around in Chicago. I'd like to bring him back as well. Frosty Games, hashtag Bears, Wilson or Watson? Well, first of all, you guys can answer, and I'll give my thoughts as well. RW for Russell Wilson, DW for Deshaun Watson. I would prefer Watson, but if they get Wilson, I'm going to be doing jumping jacks. Like, you need a franchise quarterback either way. I'd rather have the guy who's 7 years younger and is still ascending as a player, but you know what? You can't go wrong. So get your votes in. DW for Deshaun, RW for Russ. I'm good either way. ARRIGO MOUNGER, trade idea. Russell Wilson, Seahawks get 3 firsts, Kyle Fuller and Bobby Massey. They get their DB and OT. It's a win-win trade. They don't want Bobby Massey. That's number one. 3 firsts and Fuller, though, that's not bad value. I just don't think Massey adds anything to the trade. Like, he's a below-average right tackle. Those guys are everywhere. You can find those just about anywhere. Christopher Cihak, top 3 wide receivers to get in the draft if we draft one. I'll be realistic, so I'm not going to be like Devontae Smith because he's going to be gone. How about Rashad Bateman, Terrace Marshall, and maybe Rondale Moore? That's a little rich in round 1, but those are guys you could actually get at number 20. You're not going to get a Devontae Smith, a Jamar Chase, a Jalen Waddle, unless Waddle has major medical concerns we don't know about. But Bateman would probably be my top guy there. Eddie Fleming, Bears. I feel like people don't value a franchise quarterback like people should. I would be willing to give up 3 firsts, Kyle Fuller, and Hicks. Exactly, right? Like, I get the blowback of, you would trade Roquan Smith in a Deshaun Watson trade? Yes. I mean, come on. He's a linebacker. You have to be willing to do things like that. If you're going to trade for a franchise quarterback, I'm with you. I would trade 3 firsts for Fuller and Hicks for Wilson or Watson. Like, it's a franchise quarterback. That's what they cost. They cost a ton of money, especially the premier ones, which is what Watson and Wilson are. If you lose a defensive starter, it's not the end of the world because you're going to score a lot more points on offense, and you'll more than make up for it. Jonah Gonzalez, why do you think Russell Wilson wants to come to the Bears? There's some chatter that think about it this way. Now, this is some chatter. He went to Wisconsin, my producer tells me. That's not why. I think he would like the idea of, hey, I could be the savior at quarterback for Chicago. That's appealing. You have to admit, if you can be the guy that brings the Bears back to the promised land, he's instantly, if Russell Wilson wins a Super Bowl in Chicago, he's the best quarterback in franchise history already, even if he only plays a couple years in Chicago. So that's appealing. The city of Chicago is a passionate fan base for the Bears. I think there's appealing things about it. Now, there's question marks in terms of franchise, how the team is built right now with the coaching staff, the GM, and some roster questions, but I think those are your selling points there. Hey, I can be the savior of the Chicago Bears, an original franchise in the National Football League. Now, what's your favorite NBA team? I'm curious what you guys think on this one. I'm sure most of you guys are Bulls fans, but maybe we have some fans of some other teams as well. Let's hear it from you guys. Favorite NBA team out there? Bulls, playing good ball. I'm a big Zach LaVine guy. I like watching him play. Let me know what your favorite NBA team, and if you want to make some money either betting on or against your team, depending on how good or bad it is, you can do it with Bet Rivers. Go to chatsports.com/betil or chatsports.com/betin, depending on if you're in Illinois or in Indiana. You can place a bet if you're within one of those 2 state lines. If you're a big Bulls fan, hey, Bulls are hot right now. Go bet on Chicago to win their upcoming matchups. There's money to be made. You can also do like futures NFL bets, NFC North champions, and Super Bowl champs, all those type of things as well. No combine prop bets this year because we don't have a combine, but there's still a lot of different stuff you can make some money at with BetRivers. They'll get you a 100% deposit match when you go to chatsports.com/betin or chatsports.com/betil. Make some money today. Johnny Scraps with Buster Screen cut. Could Kyle Fuller be traded or released next to save more cap space? I'm surprised this wasn't a bigger talking point during Ryan Pace's presser on Tuesday, but I think Screen could be the first domino. Like, I think Kyle Fuller likely won't get cut, even though it would save $14 million. I do think he could get traded, especially if it's for one of these quarterbacks that could come back to the Bears via trade. Now, good player. He's a kind of a low-end number one corner. He's not an elite number one, but he is a number one, I would say, at this point. Final year of his deal, so Bears can save $14 million if they move him out or if they cut him, so I definitely think that could be a possibility, and especially if they're feeling good about Jalen Johnson and his progression, who I actually thought played better in coverage than Fuller at times last year. If you feel like, hey, this could be a number one corner, you could trade Fuller / cut him. Jalen Johnson's your number one guy, and then maybe you draft a number two corner, sign somebody in free agency for cheaper than Fuller. That could be an option. I'm not advocating for a Kyle Fuller trade. I'm not advocating to release him, but just know that it's possible considering the salary cap situation for 2021 is a little bit uncertain, and the Bears have a lot of money allotted to several players. Cutting or trading Kyle Fuller is an area where you can trim some fat off. Will Kyle Fuller be here in 2021? Type Y for yes, type N for no. I'll put it like 60-65% yes. I still think it's more likely he is than he isn't, but don't be surprised if he's not on the roster. Go ahead and get your votes in. Mikal Davidson, if Roquan is traded, who is a viable replacement in the draft? Well, number one, you're not going to replace Roquan with one guy, especially a rookie. Now, you know, like guys in round one, like, you know, Micah Parsons is a name, but you're probably not having a first-round pick if you trade Roquan, because that probably means he was a part of a blockbuster trade for a quarterback. So in this scenario, you're sacrificing some production at the linebacker position. You're hoping Danny Trevathan picks up where he left off in the second half of last year, can be that signal caller linebacker once again like he was a couple of years ago. I thought he played really well the second half of last year. He struggled in the first half. And then you patchwork your number two linebacker. Maybe you sign a guy, maybe you draft someone in the middle rounds of the draft to be your number two off-ball linebacker. We'll see, but Roquan will only get traded if it's for a quarterback, in my opinion, because he's an elite player who's still on his rookie contract. AKA Chicago, 2 firsts for Derek Carr. He might not be elite, but he is good. It's all we need. Doubt they trade him, though. That last sentence is where I'm at. I just don't think they're going to trade him. If you watched our Bears trade targets video, I didn't put Carr in my top 6 guys because I don't really think he's available. You know, things can change. What's true today may not be true tomorrow. It's a fluid league, especially in the NFL, but, you know, Mariota's the available quarterback for the Raiders. They're looking to move him. I don't want him, but he's the guy you could go get for pretty cheap. I don't think Carr's available, guys. You know, if reports come out that changes, we'll talk about it, but I just don't view that as a possible solution. Chris Bernal, favorite moment from the 2020 season that gives you hope for the future? I mean, you beat the Bucs. They won the Super Bowl. Was that a fluke? Maybe. You know, Brady and that offense weren't nearly in sync at that point. Honestly, I know they lost 21-9 in the playoff game. If they do a couple things smarter, they're in that game with the Saints. If Javon Wims doesn't drop the ball on the trick play, you're probably up at halftime. I thought the defense played really well in that game. In general, I think the defense still gives you hope that if you can get the right quarterback in there, the defense will play better because it won't be on the field as much. And I think you've got pieces in place. I thought Ryan Pace was actually right when he said we have a playoff-ready roster. You just need the quarterback. That's the key. It doesn't matter about the rest of your roster if you don't have a quarterback. So if you can figure that out, this team can contend. Alan Mcchristian, trade up for Zach Wilson. I mean, it's going to cost a lot. I think there's a pretty decent chance the Jets are going to take him at number 2. It's going to cost you 3 first-round picks. So if you want to do that, then go for it. Jeff Washer, do you take a flyer on Darnold or Minshew? Darnold. Guys, I know some of you guys have sent me, Minshew's QBR in the fourth quarter and all these stats that don't really add up to anything. Minshew is a fun player. He has outkicked he's already done more in his career than 99% of quarterbacks taken in the 6th round. I'm not bagging on Minshew. I like the guy. I think he'll be in the NFL for probably 10 or 12 years as a high-quality backup. Maybe he has a Ryan Fitzpatrick type of career. But if you think he's going to come in here and be like, a 10-win quarterback, I just think you're going to be disappointed. Darnold at least has the background of being a top 5 pick. He's got the physical traits. Now, can he prove to be that guy? I don't know, but I'd rather take a chance there. Eamon Elias, Fuller, Eddie Goldman, and Akeem Hicks, and 3 first-round picks for Russell Wilson and Blitz Boy. Tom, who's Blitz Boy for the Seahawks? Jamal Adams. Okay, how's Blitz Boy? They're not trading Russ and Adams to the Bears. I mean, come on, that's not going to happen. I like the Blitz Boy reference though. That's a good one. The Bears broadcast. Would it be possible to agree with a deal for Wilson with Seattle and draft whatever player they want with our first this year and send 2 future ones so they suffer less of a cap hit? They don't really do that in the NFL. That's more of an NBA play of, hey, pick this player here at number 7 and then trade him to us. That doesn't really happen in the NFL. So, no, I don't think that would happen. Who do you guys trust more, Matt Nagy or Ryan Pace? The poll, if you're watching live, the poll is updated. We've got 1,200 votes, and 76% of you guys are typing MN because you trust Matt Nagy more. So let me know, MN or RP.